Real sushi was a luxury reserved only for the elite, since most sea life had become radioactive after the Third Terran War. The rest of us had to eat new sushi, soya mixed with off-world lichen.
To be honest, that does not sound appetizing. It seems like some people like it.
Hey, big guy.
Busy. No time for talk.
McCoy, いたずらするな. You want something, you talk to me.
Sorry, Howie.
Got to mix more out back.
Beautiful night, isn't it?
When business thriving, night always beautiful.
This girl ever eat around here?
Nah, all gaijin look like the old man.
This from your place, isn't it?
Could be. Chopstick come from Yoshi's restaurant supply.
This from your place, isn't it?
Yes, sir. You do Howie favor? Distribute all through our police station?
How long has that chef worked for you?
Zubin? Just month. Superior chef makes all kinds of new sushi.
Heard there was an accident down here. A hit and run.
Ha! There are more accidents than Suido no Nezumi, Suwa rats.
What's real fresh tonight?
Nothing now, McCoy.
Really?
No, sir. Any luck? Something interesting arrived tomorrow.
Oh, that's a shame.
McCoy, LPD. I want to ask you a couple of questions.
Sorry, my man. I just don't got the time.
You're a pretty smart-looking cat. You want to make some money?
Pay me large, you got my rapt attention.
Depends on how much the information's worth.
Unfortunately, my man, I got a bug. Dynamite dining, old man. Catch you later.
Excuse me, pal.
Alright, let's go and have a word with Zubin.
Howie says you're a master chef.
You not come back here. Air bad.
This'll only take a minute. There's a test I'd like you to take. It won't take too long.
Test? What kind of test?
Kind of a personality test. Totally routine.
Routine? Ah.
Yeah, I somehow doubt that Zubin is rooting for a dumpster right now. Move. Now we could put our practice to the test, but...
Relax. Nobody's gonna get retired, okay?
What do you want from Zubin?
Just talk, that's all.
So talk.
There are things I want to know.
Ah, police.
I'm McCoy, LPD Rep Detect Unit.
Rep detect?
Sometimes we're called Blade Runners.
Wow. Now, was that really worth it, McCoy? Guess we will find out.
Locked.
Okay, let's go and explore this open area.
Rumor has it you've been earning your stripes, McCoy.
Working on it.
Keep it up. You just might have a future in this business.
I understand it's got a hell of a retirement plan.
I checked with UN Air. Looks your rep swung that moonbus massacre last month.
They ever find the moon bus?
Disappeared into thin air. Brian thinks it crashed out in the Kipple.
How many reps we talking about?
Enough. They're Nexus 6s, so don't take too much slack.
Gotcha.
Your target give you the slip? What happened, McCoy? You feel sorry for it?
My game must have been off.
Go home and get some rest. I'm sure you need it.
That sounds like some sound advice. But it did seem like Zubin was prepared to talk, right up until he found out that we are a Blade Runner. Now let's go and investigate that dumpster. There was the crash around here after all. I should really check out to see if we can get back to our car from the back entrance.
Hey, Howie. What's cooking?
Nothing now, McCoy. Got to find a new chef, thanks to you.
Can't help you there, Howie.
Alright, time to call it a night.
McCoy, LPD.
Select destination. Your apartment. Voice print identification. Your floor number, please.
Roof.
Which is where we are now.
Apartments. Ground floor.
At some point I will have to explore the ground floor and just see how extensive the exploration can be, as we can actually reach several locations on foot.
McCoy, 88F.
88. Thank you.
I lived with the best gal I'd ever seen. She was 2 now and full of life and love. She'd cost me about a year's salary, but she was worth it. It was good to have someone warm nearby after completing a dirty job, and the retirement swag from this case would go toward getting her a partner. You hungry, Mags?
Sometimes McCoy will throw her a treat, but to guarantee it, we need to press the counter.
Here you go, baby. Dinner time.
And you also have our very own Esper machine on the counter. Well, the coffee table. But there's no use for it now.
Zubin was the first Nexus 6 I'd come up against. There was something in his eyes, an almost primordial desire to live. Most of the 3s, 4s, and 5s I'd seen would just give up when you had them. But these 6s, they were a whole other breed.
There are actually, I believe, 2 news reports, but every time I press the TV, when I'm recording, it brings up just one of them.
Violent street crime in the city rose again last year by a whopping 26%, according to the latest figures from the Department of Justice. Governor Kolvig attributed the change to the dramatic increase in the number of specials registered as city residents and promised a tough new set of standards for the City Immigration Bureau by next month.
Okay, let's check our answer machine before bedtime.
Hi, Mr. McCoy. I'm sure you remember me. I heard about what you did for my friend, and I just wanted to say thanks.
The message could have come from any of a dozen people. I'd done my share of favors when I was in uniform. Something about the voice was familiar, but I was too tired to place it for sure. Erase and reset.
Well, it does not sound like anyone that McCoy has met so far. Anyway, let's get some rest.
Portrait of the sleep-deprived.
Got your delivery here, man.
What?
Kingston Kitchen.
Oh, yes, right. Hold on.
Is this what the gravity be like on Mars?
Oh, no. It's about a third of what we got here on Terra. Real comfy. How about turning that dial, okay? When I say... Oh!
Please, can you control your rat?
I'll have you know that Ricky's a purebred Chihuahua, and he's totally real.
Things going good at Tyrell Corporation?
Boring, boring. Old man Tyrell's been on a Wagner kick lately. He never shuts up.
You also do outside work?
Sweetie, I never go outside. It's bad for the glands.
How about Nexus 6? You know a lot about them?
I think you should be going now.
Understand good, it holds deep meaning for me now. Where be your research on Nexus 6? And your test studies, contacts, the works?
Only simulator! Extraterrestrial gravity!
One more minute, you be swallowing this explosive. 3 more minutes, they be hosing you off the True Life building across town.
No, I swear. I don't have anything. If I did, I'd give it to you.
My people sick and dying. You tell me something.
Talk to Dr. Tyrell.
Tell me something I don't know.
The organ designers, Miraji, Hannibal Chu, Luther and Lance, they're closer to him than I am.
Where?
DNA Row. They're all working down on DNA Row. No.
You one miserable package, man.
No! No, please, don't!
Pick up.
Hope you aren't camped out there with a bottle of tequila.
Oh, very funny.
Early bird slays the worm, McCoy.
Don't worry, I'm up, Lieutenant. What's the buzz?
One of Tyrell's employees got his fat face splattered all over the marble interior of the Tyrell building.
Inside?
That's right, but we also got a sweet little break on it. Tyrell's surveillance system recorded the whole shebang.
Beautiful. How many perps?
Just one. I don't know if it's related to the Run-Center deal or not. Tyrell Security will have the disc for you when you get there. You'll be good, killer.
Killer? We haven't killed anyone yet. Good morning, Maggie. Whoops, that was badly timed.
Here you go, baby. Dinner time.
Voice print identification. Your floor number, please.
As much as I want to explore on foot, getting to the Tyrell organization will be much quicker in our car.
Select your apartment. Tyrell Pyramids.
That's what I'm going to select.
McCoy, LPD.
Just a minute.
Where do I go?
Grav test on the east wing, 66th floor. Here's the footage from the security cameras. You get a pretty good look at the man's face.
How'd he get past you guys?
He pretended to be a delivery man. Dr. Eisenduller ordered in a lot, so it didn't seem unusual.
I may have more questions for you later on.
Yes, sir.
One more thing.
I've told you everything I know, Detective. I gotta work. These monitors don't watch themselves.
Yeah, it's a tough gig.
Wait, if he is the one who's monitoring the security screens, then surely he would have seen the guy pulling the gun out, and also with a bomb in his hands. It's interesting to wonder why he did not.
The earring was shaped like an insect. I didn't know much about jewelry, but it looked like junk to me, like the cheap crap sold at the stands and shops of Anemoid Row.
That's the second piece of insect jewelry that we have found.
It was a Tyrell sales brochure for the Nexus series, the kind of glossy hype that ends up littering the floor at trade shows. This one was for last year's infamous Lolita model, a big hit with the all-important dirty old man market.
Nice.
It's some kind of insect.
So we have the dragonfly anklets.
The earring was shaped like an insect. I didn't know much about jewelry, but it looked like junk to me, like the cheap crap sold at the stands and shops of Anemoid Row.
That is quite interesting. They are the same insects.
Someone had tried to access a bunch of protected files on the Tyrell network and failed, not just once, but a dozen times. Tyrell engineers might forget their passwords, but what would the GravLab boys need with replicant DNA sequences and incept dates? I couldn't even begin to guess what Eisendoller's password was. I'd need an engineer to tell me what all these displays meant, and the only one handy was busy being wallpaper. Jesus.
I seen worse, but not by much.
Learn anything?
You could strain him through a sieve.
Obviously, he'd been killed with an explosive, and not just because he'd been plastered on the wall with 1,000 strokes. The detonator wire I pulled out of his skull told the whole story. The killer was an expert. The charge had been big enough to do the job, but not big enough to shatter the soundproof walls of the float chamber. But I wondered why the killer didn't just shoot him.
Now that seemed like a big block of explosives in the gentleman's hands. And Eisendoller seems fairly intact.
The dog collar has a name on it. Ricky, maybe?
Damn it, McCoy.
A takeout box from Kingston Kitchens.
Now there are 3 dog corpses here. Seems like we can only click on 2 of them. Oh no.
I'd seen more dead animals than live ones in the last 24 hours, and now it was dogs. 3 of them. I thought about Maggie and nearly threw up. Any idea if they were real dogs?
We get the same response from all 3 corpses, and I still don't know who he's speaking to. Is it a rhetorical question, or was there more dialogue planned? I have no idea.
This hearing yours?
Maybe it belonged to that other cop who was up here. The babe with the shades and the cigarettes.
Ain't her style. Call her babe to her face, you're liable to end up with a severe limp. You spot anything you think I ought to know about, tell me.
Absolutely.
Well, we have already discovered all we could discover so far. Let's get back to the police station. Well, firstly let's try out this computer here.
Eisendoller had used his dog's name as a password. The Tyrell brass wouldn't be too happy if they knew I was snagging a copy of their files, but someone had wanted them bad enough to kill Eisendoller, so I figured they must be worth having.
I don't think that you would be able to use the password Ricky nowadays. You need a capital and a letter and a symbol.
Lagging behind again?
Guza didn't say anything about me working with a partner.
Oh, in a pig's ass, Slim. No, I'm following up on my own. Could be it's linked to this Tyrell debacle.
You take a look at this crime scene?
Yeah, it's a real doozy, Slim. Worse than watching Guza eat. Make sure you skip a meal before you go up.
Wait. Before we go up, we have already been up. That line of dialogue is quite confusing. Maybe she was originally meant to be here when we got here.
You friendly with Eisendoller?
Most of the employees I see coming in morning and night, but old Marcus, Dr. Eisendoller, he almost never left his lab.
He afraid of somebody?
I think it had something to do with the air outside, and the germs. I once heard him complain about it.
Smart. What was his job?
Grav Test Chief Engineer. The lab runs tests to see how a replicant would perform in different planetary gravitational fields. That kind of thing. One of the other engineers could tell you more.
You know if anyone lost an earring like this one lately?
Not one of the employees, that's for sure. The boss enforces a strict dress code around here.
How did Eisendoller's moo-moo fit in?
Hey, you know, company rules only apply to the lesser mortals.
How do I get in to see the big boss?
You don't, unless he wants to see you.
Okay. How do I make him want to see me?
Well, you could call his personal assistant.
Who is?
Don't know offhand.
Yeah, I get the picture. You know anything about Tyrell's computer system?
Security's tight as a drum, if that's what you're asking.
Somebody tried to access restricted data from the terminal in Dr. Eisendoller's office.
But they couldn't get in.
Yeah. Looks like Dr. Tyrell keeps his files safer than he keeps his employees. I may have more questions for you later on.
Yes, sir.
All right, now it's time to go.
Select destination. Police station.
Mainframe and shooting range.
During his last election campaign, Governor Kolvig promised a bold new plan of action to clean up the worst regions of the highly toxic debris that surrounds our city, the so-called kipple. Just how much progress has been made since then? We spoke to the governor just before his weekly meeting with the city council.
Our studies have shown that the kipple's effect upon Los Angeles is minor. The radiation and toxic waste is contained in relatively small pockets, all miles distant from the city center. Nevertheless, cleaning things up out there is a worthwhile goal, especially with the thousands of specials living on the city fringes. For now, all I can say is that we're looking at several options, and I'm sure everyone will be pleasantly surprised by our final proposal.
Uploading personal clue database. Downloading mainframe clue database. Clue database transfer complete. New clues added to personal database. Please check Kaya.
This is Crystal Steel, badge number BR61354. Still working the explosion at the Tyrell manufacturing plant. It'll take a day or so to analyze the debris, but there's no doubt in my mind that we're dealing with a bomber here. Right now, it looks like the protesters had nothing to do with it. They were in too close proximity to have been in on the deal. No MOs or identities are rolling up just yet, and I'm still going through the inset files to see if any replicant munitions experts are unaccounted for. This is Crystal Steel, badge number BR61354, conducting the interrogation of Spencer Gregorian, leader of CARS, Citizens Against Replicant Slavery, November 22nd, 2019.
I once again asked that my attorney...
Shut it, shitbird. I'm asking the questions. We've already put you on the machine, so we know you're not a skin job.
That term offends me.
Okay, so you're not one of those biomechanical scumbags. And you claim to not know anything about the bombing at Tyrell.
This is true. We advocate equal rights under the law for replicants. We have nothing against Tyrell Corporation for creating them.
That's some sick logic.
The replicants are living organisms, whether people like you like it or not. Replicants contribute greatly to the economic well-being of our culture. They cannot be discounted as such.
And eliminating the glitches in that business is ours. Hell, it'd be no skin off my nose if each and every one of them was hosed down for good. You ever see this guy?
Why, yes. Actually, I have. He was present at the protest. He's not part of our group, but outsiders are usually welcome.
How many new faces showed up that day?
Not too many. A handful at most.
Describe them to me.
I don't know if I can.
Oh no? Recording off. Describe them for me again.
There was that Rastafarian fellow, and one of our ex-members showed up.
Who's that?
A Japanese man named Izo.
Why'd you get rid of him?
We're a pacifist organization, and we have rules. One of them is no weapons allowed. Izo refused to check in a samurai sword at the door during meetings.
Where can I find this Ezo?
He owns one of those little secondhand stores downtown.
Let me ask you a question. Who the hell bankrolls your operation?
We have a number of anonymous donors, people with resources and sources.
Such as?
So anonymous, even I don't know who they are.
I almost believe you.
So it seems like the Rastafarian fellow was involved in the factory bombing as well. And we also have another name, Ezo.
I checked with UN Air. Looks your rep swung that moonbus massacre last month.
They ever find the moon bus?
Disappeared into thin air. Brian thinks it crashed out in the Kipple.
Okay, we're done here for now. Let's check out this disc.
Scanning video disc. One enhanceable image found. Adding enhanceable photographs to Kaya database. Tyrell Grav Test Lab.
So if you missed the dog collar back in the grav test, you can also find the password just here as well.
The dog collar has a name on it. Ricky, maybe? Give me a hard copy of that.
Obviously it saves time if you actually find the collar where you are at the time. Let's check out where this food came from.
A takeout box from Kingston Kitchens. Give me a hard copy of that. The earring was shaped like an insect. I didn't know much about jewelry, but it looked like junk to me, like the cheap crap sold at the stands and shops of Anemoid Row. Give me a hard copy of that.
So that confirms that the jewellery was his, and we should see the bomb just here as well.
A bomb. Give me a hard copy of that.
Right, now it's time to see Guzza. Before then, we have a box just here we can actually examine.
We get a new weapons shipment?
Yeah, Guzza requisitioned a couple of cases for the assault teams.
Let me guess. He's planning on taking out a small city.
Lieutenant's a big believer in overkill.
We can also collect this information from Guzza's office, but not while he's there.
Ground floor.
And again, he is here.
Get out of here before I throw my desk at you. Keeping out of trouble, kid?
The goons over at the Tyrell building wouldn't let me talk to their boss. Maybe you can set up a meeting.
Tyrell? What the hell for?
One of his employees got his brains splattered inside the pyramid. I thought maybe Tyrell could fill in some blanks.
Anyone else in that whole company who knows anything?
You and I both know it's a one-man show over there.
I'll give it a try, kid. I'll have to pull some strings, so don't go in there half-assed. Make sure you got some legit questions for the resident genius.
Appreciate it, Lieutenant. Can the department float me some chin yen? This investigation's getting expensive.
Look, this ain't on the department tab, okay? This is a personal loan.
Thanks, Lieutenant.
This goddamn city don't know how to manage funds. They've been flush for years.
I thought we were under budget.
Trust me, ain't nobody getting rich unless they're sneaking some on the side. Hell, I can barely pay for the fuel for my car.
Ever hear of public transportation?
Get out of here before I throw my desk at you.
Bryant on permanent vacation or what, Lieutenant?
He sends his regards from the hemorrhoid hospital. What's the good news?
Fresh out, but I'm following up some leads.
Okay. I guess we are done. We probably should head back to Tyrell and speak to the boss.
Select destination. Tyrell Pyramids.